Welcome to part 2 of my Doll Portrait Sculpting series. In this lesson, I'll be building up the face, and I'm focusing on how to sculpt a nose with clay. Check out part 1 first if you haven't already, where I go over some basics and I demonstrate how to make the head armature. Ultimately, you'll learn how to make a mermaid portrait doll if you follow this series. This is CertainlyCaroline with more polymer clay fairy tale nonsense. I've got another video about sculpting a doll face where I go over facial proportions in general. For a portrait doll, however, I prefer to eyeball it because everyone is created so wonderfully different. So I've got this nice, smoothed out, egg-shaped lump of clay. What do you do with it? The first thing I'm going to do is study Michael's photo. The things that stand out to me would be her high cheekbones, her long, thin face, and her big eyes. So I'm just going to refer to the photo as I mark out a line for each feature. The face is like a landscape. The face has gradual hills and valleys, plateaus with sharp drops, dark caves, and flat plains. It takes a long time for the water to gradually wear away the rock, and likewise, it takes a long time for the sculptor to gradually wear away the valleys of the face. So the next step is to create valleys. I'm going for realism with style. I want it to look like Michael, yet I also want this doll to have a similar look as my other dolls. So as with my other dolls, I make her eye sockets overly large and her face a little more circular than it should be. Michael made a really cool digital collage of herself, and it's so similar to the look I'm going for, this doll look that's in my head as well. I'm going to speed this up for you so you don't have to go through each grueling tap of the wooden tool, but I want you to see that there are lots and lots of taps. They're very light taps, but there are many of them. There's an African proverb that says a single twig breaks, but a bundle of twigs is strong. And that's certainly what happens here when you build up many, many little taps. So this is our lazy squirrel, who hangs out on top of our swing set outside in our backyard. He just chills on top of our swing set. It's cute. I need some more clay here because if I keep drawing clay from the eye sockets and the cheeks, they'll need added clay. So I add a little clay for the nose, knowing if I put too much on, I can always just cut it down to size. Obviously, I put a little too much on here. I'm taking off a little piece of lint that fell into the clay. After adding clay for the nose, I see that the forehead and the chin also need to be built up. In trying to build up the chin, I lost the sketch of my lips, which is really no problem at all. I add some clay to the sides of the chin to both build up the chin and to make the face look longer. And I will define these beautiful high cheekbones that Michael has with my large ball tool. It's very rough still here, but you do kind of see those cheekbones forming. And the face needs to be thinned out again. As I look at it from different angles, I see I need more cheekbone work. I'm standing here with a camera. Any other squirrel would be like, you know, I'm out of here. He's like, no, you get out of here because this is my top of the swing set. This is mine, and I'm laying here and I'm staying here. Nose anatomy. The root is the most depressed part. It's at the top where the nose begins. The nasion is just above the root. The bridge includes the root. It's the saddle-shaped bone area toward the top of the nose. The nose ridge is the midline. It's also called the dorsum. The tip is the part of the nose furthest from the face, The septum is the wall that separates the nostrils, and the columella is the skin at the end of the septum. For step 6, I'm using my medium-sized ball tool, gradually moving the nose to where I want it on the face, and then using it to define the nose wings. The wings are the little flappy part on your nostrils. So the negative space, those are your nostrils, but the flappies, those are your wings. Why do I need a nose ring when I have nose wings built right in? I open up the nostrils with the dental tool and use it to better refine the nose wings. Coming from the top of the nose, I push the nose wings down a tad with my large ball tool. I make sushi. I eat sushi. Lazy squirrel. Can I get you some lemonade or something? Maybe your iPad. I use the large ball tool and the medium-sized ball tool to refine the ridge and the bridge of the nose. Then I basically just go back and forth between my medium-sized ball tool and my rubber-tipped dental tool until I'm happy with it. While sculpting the nostrils, keep in mind that the nostrils aren't circles and they're also not perfectly oval. While your children might find it very weird, it helps if you're looking at a close-up of nostrils while sculpting nostrils. The tip seemed a little too long to me, so I took off just a little bit, very carefully with my X-Acto knife, and rounded it off again with the wooden tool. Don't be alarmed by the bug eyes. I'll explain when I cover the eyes. Since I added the eyeballs, I need to round off the root of the nose again here. And I built up the chin a little bit more because I just really felt like it needed to be longer to look more like Michael. Looking up at the face, I noticed that the dorsal base needs to be lifted, so I just smooth in a bit of clay on both sides. I love this tool because it's like a tiny finger. It bends like my finger would bend, but yet it's thin enough to get into small places. The ball tool kind of smushed the nostrils a bit, so I just refined them again with the dental tool. Throughout this process, I often stop to check all angles of the sculpture, and I check it in different lighting. And when I look at it in a mirror, I notice one side of the face is wider than the other side. So I make corrections with my X-Acto knife. And things that should not have been cast aside were lost. The past became story, and story became legend. The force became unbalanced and worlds spun out of orbit. But the force empowers this one. Michael has more of a slope to her nose than I gave her, so I adjust the slope with my rubber tip tool and my large ball tool. Michael has more of a forehead than I gave her, so I just add some clay and smooth that out with the wooden tool. Next up in the series, I will be finishing the face, and I'll be focusing on the eyes and the lips, so you won't want to miss it. If you haven't already, I'd love it if you subscribed, and when you do, hit that bell icon so you don't miss anything. Hey, thanks for watching my strange little world of polymer clay fairy tales.